just recently, right? On I think it was TikTok, your daughter, or I think it was your daughter, comes out, and you're just getting back on after 10 months on, right? And we've had different conversations about family and stuff, but just recently, this week, and it kind of went viral, pieces of it, right? Fill me in, like, what is that when you see it? You see that from your side. What does it feel? What does it mean, like, from your side? So like, it's a welcome back to Instagram or
yeah,
social.
So definitely fuck you back to Instagram. All right, so to give you all context, I have to give you context first because y'all know what the fuck's going on. So It Can't Hurt Me, I talk about my daughter. I don't talk a lot about her because guess what? She didn't ask to be where I am. So I ain't talk a lot about her. She came out on, she's done a couple things, one on Facebook a few years ago. She did something on Reddit, and she just did something here about a week ago on TikTok. You all can get your phone, her name is Jade M. Goggins. You may not have any context about it, but go to Jade M. Goggins and look it up. Basically what she does is she calls me an absent father. She's never seen me before, doesn't know who I am, type of shit. That's how it makes it look, which is a fucking lie. She did something in 2018 on Facebook saying I was a deadbeat dad. She did something on Reddit with more deadbeat dad shit. Okay. I don't know how I'm going to explain this if you guys even want to hear it, but you asked me a question. So I'm going to try my best to put it in as much context as I can. Me and her mom got divorced when she was about 1 year old. Her mom thought I was her soulmate. Her mom cannot stand me, period, dot. She pretty much made my daughter hate me. I was in her life until she was about 15, and I will try to explain what happened. And I don't like talking without proof. So let me back up for a second. As far as the deadbeat dad thing goes, all that shit started, obviously, when people do that, they want to hurt you. There's been videos out there about me being a deadbeat dad. People who don't like me were very excited to see we got something on the superhero David Goggins. He's not a good father. I wish I could sit up here right now and tell you all, because this is what I like to do. I like to come up here right now and own it. I like to own the fucked up shit in my life. It makes it easier. I come up here, I tell you all as a fucking deadbeat dad, I didn't see my daughter, I'm a piece of shit. What y'all gonna say then? Nothing. Fucking bullshit! Exactly. So, I can't say that to you all because it's bullshit. I've never one time attacked my daughter. I've never one time attacked my ex-wife. I've seen this stuff for years. People have made videos on me. That's my daughter. No matter how the fuck she doesn't like me, that is my fucking daughter.
So I'm trying to be quiet about it because my initial just general perspective, I don't fuck with people that don't take care of their kids. Like men like that, like you can be my best friend for life. If I find out that you didn't like abandon your child, bro, I'm have to separate from you because my thought process is if you can't love your child, then you can't love nobody else. That's your actual flesh and blood. So how can we have a real friendship? Like I can't trust that about you. I understand that the extenuating circumstances and him having a job where he gone nonstop, but and that he's doing something incredible as far as on a personal level. And I can't take none of that away from him. I'm just confused as to how is, because I think some said I haven't talked to her in 10 years. If she was 15 the last time he seen her, and she like, was she like 22 now? How old is she now? Does anybody know?
She's 21.
I was 21.
21. Those is conflicting stories. I would actually believe, like, I need to understand more of this story because it's confusing to me. Because
You can see
I
your
think
child
they
and
got.
not talk to her. That's real easy, especially for.
I think they got divorced in like 2009, so she was probably like 11 or something like that. Say about 10 years. So yeah, about 2000.
That was 16 years
2015.
ago.
Yeah,
She's
15,
24
16.
now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
okay.
24.
Since she was 15. So right.
She's
So
gonna
this
be
is the
24.
thing that's kind of throwing me like
That's 9 years.
this. Yeah, roughly. So this is the thing that's throwing me off. If I had a relationship with my child that was estranged, I think that would be the most important thing to me personally to fixing before I thought about anything else. Before I thought about trying to tour, write another book, running a marathon, any of those things, I would have prioritized fixing my relationship with my child because they didn't ask to be here. And I subscribe to the philosophy that my life ain't all about me once I brought somebody else in. I have to, it's a self-sacrifice that I give. And I understand it's an odd situation because essentially he was self-sacrificing himself for the rest of the country being in the military. I don't know when he got out the military though. Does anybody know like when that was?
I'm not sure.
Nah.
I would assume it was a long time ago.
So if you've been out the military and you haven't tried to mend that bridge and you've been touring and doing all these other things, I can't respect that, bro.
Can I ask you a question?
That, yeah.
In that clip that he just showed, does that sound like a man that don't want to have a relationship with his daughter?
That's why I say I need to see more because it don't sound like that.
It sounds like he want to have a relationship, right?
What I heard was he said I was fucked up. It sound like maybe he went through PTSD and he wasn't mentally in the right space and he felt he was a danger to his child. I could understand something like that where you because I actually know somebody that went through that where they was afraid to be around their child because they couldn't control themselves and they didn't want to potentially hurt their child. Maybe it's something like that happened. I will understand that. Just because you're emotional about not seeing your child don't necessarily mean that.
But
fix the relationship. You might be emotional because
everybody's trying to blame him for the actions of his daughter who was raised by her mother.
That's a child.
She's acting like her mama.
Right. That's a child though.
So,
at the end of the day.
No, she's not. She's an adult now.
Well, at 15 now was a child.
But she didn't come out and do all that then. She's doing it now.
This is an issue now. So she talking about some shit, and what I hate, and the most disrespectful piece for me is the fact that these women are intentionally leaving the context out, right? Like they're intentionally leaving the important context out about the entire story, about why he left, when he left, the date.
Shit on me, goddamn. But
hold on. Let me just put this out there. So,
all right,
he retired from the U.S. Navy SEALs in 2015. So he served from 2001, 2015.
Oh no, never mind. I thought he got out in 2009. So he didn't see her until once he retired from the military, that's when the split was. That's normal. And not saying it's normal for guys to walk away from their parents, from their kids, but it's normal for dudes who get out the military to be alienated from their children right when they get out. It's common. It happens to a lot of people. It happens to a lot of soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen. It happens. I'd probably say 30% of the time that's what they're going home to.
Like I say, I'm not
24. So she's 24 now. So she probably would have been around the age of 14 when he retired.
Yeah, so I'm not in the military. Like I said, I don't understand the intricacies of that relationship. It does seem odd to me that while you actively was serving, you had a relationship with her, and then once you stopped, the relationship ended. Like I just need to know more. It don't personally. Like if that was my homie, I'd be pulling to the side. Like, bro, why? Like, what is this? I would have been drilling that.
She didn't have a choice. She didn't have a choice to because they were living. Because for now, looking it up, they were living on base. So she didn't have a choice but for him to see his kid. Like she couldn't not let him see that kid because they were living in base housing. So that was provided by him because he's in the military. So him not being present again, in one of his books, he says, in 5 years, he was stateside for like 30 days total out of 5 years. So the shit starting to add up now.
And what I got a question for you too.
Well, hold on. Well, did the man not have a phone or no other sense of conversation
this is
or
the thing,
communication?
right, about civilians? Y'all think that just because if the technology exists, that people are going to use it or they have access to it? That's not how that shit works over there. For example, I'm
Oh,
in the
where was he at? Was he out of the country?
he was deployed over there killing shit. Like
Okay.
wherever there was shit to be killed, that's where he was at. For
Okay,
example,
so-
right? I did a deployment on a ship in the Navy. I worked in IT. We were out to sea for 260 days straight, no land. I had a phone that I could use every day because of the job that I worked, right? Because I was IT. So I had that luxury. 95% of the ship didn't. 80% of the ship didn't even have internet where they can get on Facebook or send emails home, because we set something called River City, which is basically we limit off-board communications for a plethora of reasons, right? These people are going, again, 200, 240 days, like without having contact with the outside world. That shit is common. Like it's almost expected. And 260 for us was on the short end.
Right, really, which is why I was asking. While he was in the military, he had contact with her, but once he got out, he didn't have contact with her. That to me is, I need to understand more about that.
They
because
divorced,
me,
and
that
then
thing,
they
wow.
divorced, and they weren't living in his house. So like once he lost all the benefits, he got out. Don't have a base housing no more TRICARE, which is the insurance. She went and did her own thing. And guess what she just did? She did the same thing that, like, bro, I think it's like it needs to be studied. What happens to like these dependents when the military service member gets out of the military, and why they switch up? Because, for example, right, on average, 80% of first-term sailors who come in the Navy married are divorced within their first 4-year enlistment. After that, second term, it's 70%. You don't have a 50% chance of staying together until you hit 15 years. So knowing that to be the case, look at what happened to him.
Right. So then my next question would be, once you're home and you touring and running marathons, why you didn't dedicate that energy to filing child? Like you obviously were financially there. That's not no one, I guess, he paid $740. That's a lot of child support. So it seems like he did do a lot of he did his thing on the provider side for his family. My question would be, why didn't you engage in like, if you fight the world, if you run around, you know what I'm saying, getting active, is it really, there's no services that could have helped you create a relationship with the child? And the other thing, he didn't say like, yeah, I fought for the child and I didn't get him. He just said I was a piece of shit back then. That's completely different than the mama kept him away from me. I couldn't get in contact with. That's not what I'm hearing. And I might not have the whole story.
There's some more video clip. He explains it, but then he's also explaining on a separate, like, in response. He's like, there's certain things. I've defeated the greatest enemies in the world, and he talks about like somebody just said he was a part of Operation Red Wings. If you guys know what that is, look it up. Like he's done some of them. He's won against some of the most dangerous, deadly people in the world. But the one thing that he couldn't defeat was the woman that he had, the mother of his child. Like, him saying that with this context now, and then seeing what this timeline is, like, yeah, he got out the military. When he was able to get back to her, he tried to come back, and she was like, I'm not fucking with you. And then to not say that you're not fucking with him, and then call him a deadbeat afterwards. That's why I say it again, like, that's super disrespectful. Because it's not like he didn't try to. It's not like, him saying you didn't have a chance to. You chose not to, and your mom supported you in doing it.
So he said that's what happened, that he attempted to have the relationship.
I think JR got it all.
I think
JR got it all now.
All I know is what's shown in the video.